Well, hi everyone. Thank you for coming out on a Thursday night. We've always done these Art at Noon events, and we've also done Art at Night events, but we stopped both of them during the pandemic, during lockdown and things. We reintroduced Art at Noon, but we never really got back into Art at Night until tonight. So this is our first step back into that. Yeah. We're excited about it. We've got another one planned for February with the associate art professor of art history at Hood College, and she's doing a talk. I think it's February 10th. I should have had that written down, but I'm sorry. There's also going to be some whiskey tasting from McClintock's distillery. So come on out for either of those or both of those, you know. But thank you all for coming out. I'm really excited about this event. Poetry is something that is near and dear to my heart, and so when the opportunity arose to do this and to partner in this way, I was really excited about it. Hey, my name's Corey Fry, if you don't know. So I'm the exhibitions manager here at the Delaplane. I'm like kind of in charge of exhibitions and things. So I wanted to let you know that right now you're sitting in our West Gallery, and if you go through the brick wall there, you'll be in our East Gallery, and both of those are part of our National Juried Photography Exhibition. We do this exhibition every other November. And it's a part of our programming that is a focus on photography called Focus. So all of our exhibitions and a lot of our programming is geared towards photography for this month. But the National Juried Photography Exhibition is a great opportunity for visual artists. And there's 23 different states represented. So folks have shipped their work from all over the place, including there's one piece from Canada. So folks have either shipped or dropped off their artwork, and those are the images that you all have been working and writing poems from. But I want to encourage you during our regular hours. Of course, you can check out our other exhibitions. So there's 2 galleries on the 2nd floor. There's another, in addition to the East and West Gallery, there's a side gallery off of the East Gallery over there. But really great exhibitions. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is you can either check out our website, grab a magazine, or stay in touch with us somehow. Follow us on social media. We've just got a lot of great programming and a lot of great classes coming up, a lot of great exhibitions, opportunities for visual artists. And hopefully we'll have more opportunities like this. So check those things out. And if you know of anybody that's interested in classes or anything like that, check it out as well. The other thing is that we're recording tonight with audio. There's a little mic here, but also a video for our YouTube channel. If you know of somebody that wasn't able to make it out and you think they would be interested, you can point them in that direction. It takes a little bit of it takes some time for us to get it up there. You know, we have to do a little editing and things. So it will be up on there. But if you go there, there's lots of other really good programming and stuff too. So check all of it out. Everything, all the good stuff. Like I said, I'm really excited about tonight. I'm very interested in the way that our disciplines collaborate with one another. And so Ekphrasis and Ekphrastic event is something that's of keen interest to me, and we provided just a little definition there in case you've wandered here having no idea what you're in the middle of. But essentially we sent all of the digital images from the National Juried Photography Exhibition to the Frederick Chapter of the Maryland Writers Association, and you all chose artwork from all of those images to write poems about. So Ekphrasis is a literary tool for that you use visual art or some other sort of art or some other impetus to create a poem from. And So I'm like I said already, I'm really excited about tonight if you didn't know. But I wanted to mention too that Carrie Martindale has been great to work with. She's been fantastic. We've been emailing back and forth about logistics to get things done, and her enthusiasm was something that really made all this happen. So I'm going to kind of turn things over to Carrie. Oh, if you're a poet reading tonight, I'm going to be controlling the slides. Everything's in alphabetical order by the poet's last name. So if you see the image come up that you're working from, you can come up. We won't introduce each poet, but you can just come up and read your poem, and then we'll move on to the next one. And I want to invite you to, afterwards, you can check out the artwork on the walls as well and see it in person rather than just on the screen. So if you don't know Carrie Martindale is the president of the Frederick Chapter of the Maryland Writers Association. Her words have been published by a variety of journals and anthologies and nominated for several awards, including the Pushcart Prize. She's been featured in poetry and spoken word events across Maryland. Would you give it up for Carrie Martindale?
Thank you all so much for coming. This is very exciting for us because it's the first time we at Maryland Writers have partnered with the Delaplane. So thank you so much for this opportunity to collaborate in your spaces. And I'm just really excited. I was lucky enough to get to see all of your poetry before everyone else. So I'm the luckiest one in the room. I'm now excited to actually hear you guys and watch you do the readings because it's been so cool to see what comes in. And otherwise, yeah, I mean, we'll just start it, and whoever comes up I think it's Nicole probably that comes up first. We'll just turn it over to you, actually, Nicole Abu-Hamida.
Thank you. Lioness. We trust the beeswax candles on a line to taper, the smell of religion aged in adiopacere. It could be described no other way. The candles brandish their torch triumphantly in the darkling morning. I huddled with the women in the antechamber, in the bustle. Why do I have to wear a scarf on my head, Mommy? The crowd fell away, revealing the imposing figure of a robed priest, my grandfather. Your hair is your vanity. You must humble your vanity before God. Mother ushered me to the cabinet, told me to pick the most beautiful one, as if the fine fabric could distract me from the indictment. As I donned my penance, silken and sulking in green, a woman caught fire. When her scarf passed near the candle I made, I said nothing as I watched her scarf burn, burning up the ruched seam, blackening the edge, climbing next her soot-stained hair. She didn't even notice, as her vanity was liberated. A field of tulips gives us beeswax. They are full of God's grace, I'm told. Sometimes I stare at them to see them give sway, like my faith in you. Sometimes I don a headscarf because I am a lioness.
Hi, I'm Pamela Brunel, and I write poetry as Pamela Smith. This is my book. It's called Beloving, and we lived in Africa for 17 years, and so it's a lot of poems and stories about Africa. And I picked this wonderful photograph with Mom, Eyes Closed by Lynn Brightfeller. Living in oneness. goodbyes upwelling with sadness, always hurt. The more permanent the separation, the deeper the grief. Did we know each other in a previous life? Will we recognize each other on the other side this time? The hereafter now calling us both, all too soon. Pray that shared bittersweet sorrow brings everlasting relief and bond eternal. The rising sun's golden glow pierces clouds of despair, ebony horizons flame coral to a molten blue-white day. 85 years gone by in the blink of an eye. You and I bask in our final communion of morning sunrise. One last time our hearts hallow in holy light. Each of us great-grandmothers now facing final earthly uprooting. You proud matriarch pear tree, standing, silver-weathered, branch cracked, bough scattered, bark pocked, and sap sucked by beetle and bird. My face, a dark landscape of life's crevices and creases, web-rooted in Mother Earth, our heads reaching for stars and heavens above. The two of us mirror shared struggles and strivings, triumphs and earth-grappled wisdom, anchored in life-nourishing dirt, with roots, feet, hands, and sweat. Each other's perfect partner against onslaughts of human ravage, creatures, self-deluded ego, and pandemic kind, nurtured by each other's undaunted spirit. 5 years old, you were a spry sapling, and me a little girl. We grew up and old together, your young green limbs beckoning to climb and play and laugh and relish your fruit. We shared the crossroads of adolescence, birthing our first offspring, coddling 3 generations to cherish and foster nature's sacred heaven-sent gifts. My dear sister pear tree, my ever-giving tree, stronger together our seeds are planted. Nothing more to do, no more to give, just listening to the winds breathing across your branches and the deep ravines of my face. 2 great-grandmothers embracing one last time. The voice of God whispering, let go and let me. Trust in my everlasting arms. This one morning is all there is. Living in oneness. This moment, the secret of all. There ever was and ever will be. You trusted even without knowing. You did your part. I'll carry you the rest of the way, living in oneness. Thank you.
Hi there, good evening. My name is Rod Deasy, and I better take my phone out because it's poking me. This photograph is actually untitled, but I got a vibe from it that the girl was a little defensive. So this is a persona poem, and it's called Bird Watching 101. A raptor. It flew by too fast. It definitely wasn't an eagle or an owl. It wasn't an osprey, not black and white, and no fish. They're always holding a fish. Perhaps it was a peregrine falcon. But maybe it wasn't quite that fast. So it had to be one of the hawks. A goshawk, then. A northern goshawk. Such an excellent name. No, not big enough. I suppose it may have been a common or garden red-tailed hawk. And isn't there a red-shouldered hawk? A possibility. It didn't have feathered legs, so clearly not a rough-legged hawk. I think it was bigger than a kestrel, which could mean a sharp-shinned hawk or a Cooper's hawk. I don't know what either of those really look like. How many hawks are there anyway? It flew by too fast. I was lighting a cigar. I couldn't focus the binoculars in time. And it was just a hooked beak, brownish blur zooming past. But I'm almost certain it was a raptor. Thank you. This is a bonus poem, which I'm doing in the middle. And the reason it's a bonus poem is when I actually read the photographs a little more carefully, I realized that this photograph was taken by a friend of mine, Dominic Cicala, who's a singer-songwriter that I've known for years. So I felt honor bound to do an extra poem on his behalf here. Little note, according to legend, dryads, tree spirits, were reputed to wrap themselves in their hair and remain still when they didn't wish to be seen. While they didn't become invisible, they became part of the background, like a tree in the forest, and were ignored. And that's what this photograph suggested to me. So this is called A Dryad Drops By. One thing to remember, your secrets are safe with me. See, no one can see me now. I'm invisible, gone, not here. I'll just keep very still and wait and listen. Oh, gash and thorn, you folks think about strange things and talk about weird goings on. Nothing natural at all, at all. Give me leaves and linnets every time. As soon as everything is asleep, I'll slide back to the oaks, cloaked by the dark, quiet as a whisper, and fade into my beautiful tree. You can look for me if you like. You won't find me. But I'll be there in the wind. Thanks. Sentinel. It says Morning Sentinel on the photograph, and it doesn't tell you where it is, but it's actually in Monument Valley, which you can recognize pretty clearly from the buttes behind. Okay, so this is called Sentinel. Meditating, he sits motionless, his mount responsive to his need for stillness. The land asks for respect, serenity. These sandstone buttes hold sacred spaces. Soon the sentinel will patrol the arid landscape with the ravens and the rock wrens. past the carcasses of defeated monsters, past the waxy juniper, sage and yucca, circling saguaro, barrel and prickly pear, life thriving in the xeric air. This Navajo Nation territory needs constant vigilance, for white men can never be trusted. How many treaties with Native Americans have they broken? All of them. Thank you. Incidentally, that isn't just 4 or 5 treaties, it's upwards of 500.
I dedicate this poem to Maurice and Khadijah, who you were, who you became, and who you are. And I apologize in advance for some profanity. As if in flight, as if in suspension, her wrists and head swivel in restraints, feet unbound to roam wherever. No, fuck this. It's said that after this, there is no male or female. There is no marriage. Nobody belongs to anyone, just bliss. But even the angels wondered what and who is man that God is mindful of him. And woman came from man, and man came from woman, and woman can grow a penis, and man's penises grow so woman can grow more penises. There are no nipples to suckle or titillate, no vagina to birth or penetrate. Do angels procreate? Hiding their wings in ink under thin layers of epidermis, hopeful to unfurl them with faith. What and who are angels that man idolizes and romanticizes as servants, suspending them like fantastical griffins? They sometimes substitute their wings with mortal restraints of choice. He or she, when they are the thems of legions wandering about us like we are about them, who are brave enough to embrace all they are. They say everybody's gay. But perhaps everybody traded their wings for puppet strings, bound to roam wherever, wrist and head swivel in restraints, as if in suspension, as if in flight. No, fuck this.
It's pretty obvious from the cheekbones and the set of the mouth that this is a mother and a daughter, itinerant, working in a traveling carnival. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to see that this photograph spoke to a broader, deeper aspect of the human condition. Mama, why are we here? Him. You know why. I couldn't stay in Midland anymore. Where were we before Midland? Austin, and before that, Galveston. Where before Galveston? Laredo and Houston and Corpus Christi. Before Corpus Christi? You weren't born yet. Where was I before I was born? Someplace no one knows. How long are we here? I don't know, for a while. I want to know where we're going next, Mama. Tell me. Someplace good, I hope. I wish I knew, honey.
Hi again. So obviously I chose Road Trip, which was funny because when I first saw it, I mean, I'm a road tripper. Anyone who knows me knows that can you hear me now? Knows that I'm a road tripper. And so just based on the title, I had looked at it, and it took me a second before I realized that these were mannequins. And so then I thought, oh, and I wasn't even sure at that point that I was going to write, because I thought, well, what can I write about that? And then, boom, something came to me that was unexpected, and that's actually what I love about ekphrastic poetry, is you might have no idea what's going to come at you as inspired by something. So this is called Road Trip. Arm stiff from 14-hour days, attached to the wheel as we race across states. No time to pose for selfies, we speed where billboards and yard signs do not deceive. Through expanses of countryside where political trustees have conditioned constituents to embrace bigotry. I won't wake her, she's not dressed to go out, especially at a station along this route, at a latitude and longitude where her nudity poses a threat to the territorial servitude of political prudity. Detach me from the wheel, carry me into the canteen, prop me up in a booth so they all can see the stiffness of my truth as I survey the scene, a keen eye through the window, watching her peacefully sleep. One whiff of steam is all I need to fuel my vigilance before we proceed through counties chain-linked by the death of dreams, where bloodshed is preferred to democracy, where they've been taught to hate with ferocity, where they lean on distorted religiosity, where choosing her bathroom provokes animosity.
Good evening. When I first saw Walter Plotnick's Bird Hotel, I was drawn to how tactile it was, despite being a photo. In particular, how you can see the creases where the box was once folded. I thought a lot about folding as a kind of repetition, and how unfolding the box is part of the process to transform it into something at once old and new. And so with this as my inspiration, I chose to write in a form called a tritina, which normally uses a pattern of 3 repeating N-words. But in my version, each repetition is an anagram of one of 3 phrases, which all appear at the end. This poem is called Circling the Bird Hotel. 11 birds, too large to make their bold attempts to cram inside work, still eager, tossed seeds into the rooms, Grandpa says. Snores teeter in and out. The routine, rest, reset one story, retell. A bird, once a bolt hider, becomes a weary traveler with greased toes. Do his anecdotes, like age stereos, distort? Or do they warp time, or reset tense? Present, future, past in orbit, held by a bird hotel, seed storage, trees on trees. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Ann Santos, and I wrote a poem about Carol Ledbetter's Second Thoughts. I was just really intrigued, especially with the lighting quality in this photograph. So my poem is entitled Thoughts on Carol Ledbetter's Second Thoughts. The composite image shows 3 figures, but only one, a woman as Trinity. She holds a flower as if it is her maidenhood, this bare-breasted mother, this solemn-faced crone. The flower is large and many-petaled, white but not recognizable to me, amateur gardener I am. The photograph appears aged, its edges uneven, like a flickering film. The effect reminds me of Nosferatu. Her music is lost, her expression ambiguous. Yet there is light, a source unseen like the Dutch masters, a hint of Caravaggio's chiaroscuro. The black of her hair, gray tones layered on her skirt, the hollows made from her collarbones, the near white of her belly, her breast. She doesn't speak her thoughts to me of left or right or center, a simulacrum who keeps her own counsel. Thank you.
My name is Joni Yous, and when I first looked at this photo by Jenny Piver, Jump, my mama heart was like, no, shallow water, rocks, sharks. But then I started thinking a little bit more about what a picture, what a photograph actually is. And it is a moment in time that we choose to remember, and it's how we remember it that the poem is about. This is Leap of Faith. Brothers were born that day, bound by bravado and sex and sunshine. We laughed and we flew, and the camera chased us into the murky water. We took those leaps of faith, fear almost gone, pure joy captured when we jumped. You swam ahead, trying to catch up to her, the one in the sage, silky shorts that took her hours to find, then seconds to remove. It was an afternoon full of hopes and dreams and lust, a day that was only supposed to last until the sun slipped under the ocean. Your anger came in waves, the silky shorts long gone, baby clothes drying in the salty breeze. The three of you never had a chance. I couldn't help you, little brother. I was swimming in doubt, slowly drowning at my own pace. Our brother from that day found you. You jumped alone, fear and darkness replacing faith and sunshine, branches and seaweed clinging to your gray shorts. He wanted to rescue you, wanted to save us, but the murky water offered you peace. We went to your funeral together, him and her, and the baby and me, a new family, bound by a day of love and lust and grief. I found the picture when I was looking for my answer. 3 brothers who laughed and flew. I chose to remember sunshine and let the joy of that day wash over me. Last one? Last poem, last picture. So most of this, I didn't plan this. I didn't know we'd be reading alphabetically when I wrote this. Most of the room, what's the very last thing you do? Take that bra off, right? So when we had the opportunity, it was tough to pick. It was tough to pick. These are fabulous photographs. Both of these spoke to me. This is Last Clasp by Lynn Brightfiller. And my poem is The Life Cycle of the Bra. Spring brought budding trees and my first bra to be worn under a high-collared Easter dress that tried to choke the life out of me, paired with old saddle shoes that I had to wear just one more time or one more eternity before I would be free to run in the dew-covered grass. Summer was for tank tops that showed fancy straps and bikini tops that hid shy smiles. Spending every moment in the sun, I would flip every hour, perfecting dark tan lines that would define what was off limits during the honeysuckle nights. Fall was the time for new bras, that covered old memories, sizing me up for a lifetime of nylon cups that held my heart while breaking, stained with sweat and tears and mother's milk. Practical friends that contained and restrained hopes and dreams. My winter is coming. Gray hair and drooping breasts arrived, along with a strong gust of confidence. Saddle shoes changed into hiking boots, dresses long ago faded into blue jeans, and a flannel shirt unbuttoned slowly, revealing an ivory lace bra that you unclasp for the last time.
Thank you all so much. I can't thank you all enough for all you poets who shared, just for the amount of time that you put into these poems and the thoughtfulness in them as well. Really enjoyed our time together. If you would, take some time and wander around the exhibition, look at the artwork in person, and I look forward to talking about ways that we can collaborate in the future again. And if anyone has any ideas, my door's always open so we can chat about what that might look like. But thank you all again. Can we give all of our poets a round of applause one more time?